All right, a wise man once said, a man's got to know his limitations. So we have an opening on the board, and we do have requests to trap people's property on a permanent basis, semi-permanent. So because we have an opening on the board, we did go and interview a new potential customer Sunday. Today is Friday. So we're gonna go ahead and take this customer on. It's really more about our relationship with the customer and what their plans are for the property versus just, hey, I got hogs, come trap them. We're not interested in that. We're looking at the long haul. Really like the customer. It's kind of like an interview process. For us, it's not just about the money. It's about, can we work for this person and work together? The unusual thing about today is I had 10 hours of sleep last night, which don't ever happen. But I forced myself to do it, and it was like there was a dozen full-blown, like chubby gobblers sitting on top of me in the bed, like they were roosting on me for 10 hours, and I just couldn't get out of bed. So I'm wound up like a hummingbird on methamphetamines. 10 hours is a lot for me. Already sweating like Wyatt in church. It is officially summer in South Georgia. So this is gonna be shirt number 1. And we just loaded up everything we're fixing to go do on this fella's property. It is a semi-hunting property, more of an enjoyment property versus a farming or full-blown hunting property. He does have one trough feeder that we are going to wrap. That is our requirement. If you want us to trap this property, we're gonna shut your stuff down to where hogs can get to it. So we're gonna show you a little footage of that, and then we're gonna go way back in the woods, put up a 4-legged on-time feeder, and start the process. You know, some of you don't get it, but it's exciting for us to get onto a property brand new, and the excitement of getting it somewhere under control where that's baby going crazy. You know, where you get it under control where a man can actually enjoy it. So with this rude interruption in the background, baby losing her mind, probably saw a butterfly or something. We're gonna change shirts and put it in the wind and continue on with some footage. So hang on. All right, so we're here on property, and you're gonna see here in the background, which is very common for us down here, is a trough feeder. Hogs still getting them. We've got I'll try to find a picture. We actually have a picture of a hog inside a trough feeder. It's kind of cool. But yeah, so we've got a little field back here with some planted pines. What we're gonna do, Zebby's actually coming in with the landowner's tractor. We're gonna do a bush hog a little bit, kind of slick this up a little bit. And then we're gonna come in with what they call pig panels, which are not for trapping hogs. We're basically gonna run 7 16-footers around. University of Texas did a study. We like 7, not 6 16-footers. We feel the deer are more comfortable. And then we're gonna make a cut of 29 inches, a couple of entry points so the little fawns can clear. Fawns are important to the deer herd. I've heard people say they don't care about fawns, and I can't honestly wrap my head around that, but there's a lot I can't wrap my head around. And then we're basically going to wrap this customer's deer feeder, and then we're gonna head that direction and start our hog trapping process over there. So the goal is to keep them away from this, but just in case for some reason, the migratory nature of hogs, they come over here one evening and they find what we call unprotected corn. Now we're gonna have to try to get them off of that. We've got some mild rooting here. For our landowner, it's major rooting, but for us, it's pretty mild. But we get it, right? I mean, everybody has their own level of tolerance. For a farmer, they would tolerate that. But for this landowner, this is kind of their sanctuary here. And so I get that, trust me. So we'll give you a little video once we get it all wrapped up. We've done videos on it before. And then kind of how we're gonna start our operation over there in the woods. A lot of people would say, we'll trap them here, but this is a food source. It's pretty green grass, and we've got a feeder that's pushing corn. Right now it's empty because it's empty until we get it wrapped. So hang on. All right, so we got the feeder wrapped, and project went pretty well. It's not a bad job. We actually have a drill bit that hooks up to these clips since it kind of goes quick. We did have a rain shower came, so that gave us a commercial break. And then all that rain and then all the steam coming up from it. God bless South Georgia. So we'll buzz you around and show you kind of how we did it. It doesn't take long. Again, we use 7 panels versus 6. I think University of Texas does 6. We like 7. I think the deer get used to it better. So here we go. So that's how she looks. Don't need to use a lot of T-post. You're not really trying to, I mean, the hogs aren't gonna mess with it. They're not gonna jump over it. So anyway, just kind of how it works. Here's your 29-inch cut. So what's the Gorilla Tape for? The edges are really sharp. So if you're concerned about femoral artery, you might be when you swing your leg over that. So it just kind of slows the process down. If you knew which entry point you were going to use a lot, you might want to take a piece of foam, or you could grind it down with a grinder, you know, but anyway, so there you go. Wrap feeder keeps the hogs out, lets the deer in, and everybody's happy. So we headed to the woods now. All right, fellas. I think that's some junk. We're gonna take a look. So Zeb's on the tractor. Hogs just crossed right in front of me. There they are. All right, fellas. We got a Jaeger Pro trap coming for you. Stay tuned. Well, it's been a wet afternoon. We've had a lot of showers in and out. Like it'd just flood and then get inside the truck. And then jump out. So, yeah, I ain't even tried to swap shirts, but I'm going to before we make the ride home. So, as you know, as coming in, we saw hogs, which was woohoo kind of cool for me. Don't take much to excite me these days. But anyway, went ahead and set the trap up. Now, before you take a deep breath and go, wow, why? We're setting the trap up, but we're going to remove panels and open it up. So there's going to be an open gate, open at 12 o'clock, which is across from the gate, and then open at 9 and open at 3. And then we're only baiting through the open gate. Done a video on this the other day. We're not like in a big rush to trap these guys, which would be like, well, why not? They're not really hurting anything. Instead of starting a bait site and then coming back in here with panels and disrupting them and disrupting them and disrupting them, there's one huge push and then we disappear. And then we have a system for plugging these panels back in. So the best way to do that is to go ahead and build a complete trap. And right before we leave, which we haven't left yet, we're just gonna pull each panel out. Made some camera adjustments from the ice camera, the mine camera, instrumental being able to have a tractor. It really helped us here getting into this spot, and then I'm gonna buzz you around and then we're gonna get the HELL out of here. So we said it in other videos, you know, the Tacoma is clearly not our favorite truck in the world, but it does great for these tight spots versus trying to bring the gator in. Our diesels would just be sinking right now. So trailer's empty, just kind of tidying things up. We've got full system up, as you can see. Got the big pole over there, running a 4-leg on-time feeder. Everything's tamped in. And then basically, like I said, is we're gonna remove 9 and 3, and then up here at the gate and remove that. We did include a tree into the build, which we like trees inside our traps. And so what we did here is, again, we got ice camera. We've got to put a backup battery on that. Right now, we're just running straight lithiums. And you can do that, but if you run backup batteries, it saves you money on lithiums. And we're all about trying to save our customers money. So, little corn out here, and then we're gonna run a line through the gate like that. And then, like I said, we're gonna bust open 9, 3, and 12. Now, this is the new Jaeger Pro panels. They are 3 inches shorter. And this is our first time actually setting up the new panels. So they are a little shorter, so the trap is a tiny bit smaller. It is an older gate. We're in the process of going to Columbus and getting a new gate. So, that kind of runs you through it. Beautiful day here in South Georgia, but we are soaking wet. So that's going to wrap up the video. Hopefully that's kind of helpful. Really exciting to be on a new property for us. Exciting that, you know, we scouted it on Sunday, and this is where I dropped the Onyx pin where I wanted the trap, and literally on the other side of Tacoma we saw the hog. So, you know, sometimes we get it lucky. But going to be kind of cool to take this property on. Landowner letting us use the equipment is always key on a project like this. And don't think it's a lot of hogs, but hogs migrate through here. So with that being said, we're going to put it in the wind, and y'all have a great day. Thanks. So this is a continuation to the video where you saw that we just set up a trap. Time has gone by, so we're fast forwarding with technology. We do have a sow and some piglets coming into the trap. Went ahead and started closing our panels up. You know, a process that makes sense in our mind, but may not make sense to others. But it's a system we figured out that works. So, really hard for landowners. Really hard for landowners to understand that, hey, we got to take our time here. Okay, we got sow and piglets in, flip the switch. Yeah, we don't know if that's the group. We don't have a clue if it's the group. So we added an additional camera. Probably about 300 yards from the trap, down in the woods, in a creek. I mean, the trap's in the woods, but this is deeper in the woods. Identified a pregnant sow and a single boar. 2 different pictures. And so we'll clip those into this video. So at that point, we're like, man, we know we got more than just the piglets. And the piglet and the sow have probably been coming in for at least a week. So last night, the boar actually entered the trap, in and out a couple times. He was a little hesitant. Now, unfortunately, they're eating a lot of corn. The piglets are killing us on corn. So we can turn the feeder up, but either way, we had to go to the enclosure, the trap, to, you know, turn the feeder up. It's really a bad idea to go to a trap with hogs coming into it. It just kind of defeats the purpose of human sense. So, but sometimes you got to do what you got to do. When that food drive is really pushing them, they tolerate some crap a little better. So today we're going to ease down in there. I'll do a little video once we get there, but I'm not going to talk. I'm using the landowner's, one of his tractors. Why? Because they're used to his tractors. They're not used to a Tacoma, they're not used to a Gator, they're not used to a Polaris, and they're not used to a Honda. They're used to the tractors. So it's a real simple process. We go down there, we use scent control on our feet, our hands. Don't know how much that helps, but at least we think it does. And just leave the tractor running. And then literally go in there. We're gonna put a couple lines of corn out and adjust the feeder and get the HE-double-L out of there. Will it set them back a notch? It might, but generally they recover. Not a lot of food on this property. They're getting a lot of hardwood stuff here, some leftover acorns and crap like that. So when you have to go back to a trap, think about that. You know, like, how do I go? What are they used to? What will they tolerate? And also, you know, this is going to sting for a couple people. The reason we have a hog problem is because of humans. It really is. Because people don't take the time to trap. And I get people have jobs, so hire somebody like us to do it. But, I mean, if we were just wanting to make this guy happy, we'd have flipped the switch on the sow and a bunch of piglets. And it's like, woohoo, there you go. Well, that might make him happy, but it ain't going to solve the problem. He's still got hogs, and he's still got hogs that are close to the trap and can get educated when we drop. So we tried to think ahead, and that's why we like just being paid per month. There is no per hog. There's none of that crap. That way we can be strategic about what we're doing, and we're not feeling the pressure to, you know, oh, I'm going to make X amount of dollars if I trap a hog. No, we get paid to trap intelligently. We don't get paid to trap hogs. So hang on, we're fixing to head to the trap, and you don't have to listen to me. You get to listen to a John Deere, which probably sounds a hell of a lot better. is about 2:30 in the morning. Short night, very short night. Wyatt and I were in Atlanta for several days. Any of you that kind of follow us, Wyatt has become a ball player. He has been a ball player for a long time, but now he's a ball player that gets played, so he's a ball player. He got invited to go to Atlanta to play in a big tournament. He didn't get to play much because he's kind of the new guy on the block, but spent 2 or 3 days in a tournament. I was the only guy wearing camouflage. But yeah, so we got in last night. New property, new group, everything new. So kind of exciting for us as hog trappers. For Wyatt, he pretty wore out. Clearly he's not going to go. Wyatt did learn that when Dad goes to Atlanta, we may need to make a quick stop on the way home, or the way up there and the way home. And so on the way up there, we made a quick stop. Had to do a little bait on a chief trap. That wasn't too bad. The one coming back was a little on the bad side. I'm going to clip together a couple pictures of poor Wyatt with no rubber boots, wading down through irrigated, it's a road, but the irrigation water gets into it, and he got up to his knees in his little shoes, and anyway, so it's hell for the boys sometimes, because they always know I got to make a quick stop, so I made a quick stop. Headed to the new property. Like I said, pretty exciting deal here. It's a group that we developed pretty quick. We picked up another sow, so it's 2 sows and 7 piglets. Now, we have identified further back on the property a pregnant sow and a boar. Never seen them anywhere near the trap. So we're a little, like we keep waiting for them to join, but they haven't joined up yet. We've only seen them one time on a camera on a creek. And we do have some pretty green grass on the property. So part of our thing is, we get on the property, we do our thing, we sign a contract with the hogs, and we say, hey, we are going to provide you with free corn. We did wrap one of the customers' deer feeders, and we're like, hey, we're going to provide you with free corn, and as long as you play by the rules, go in and out of our trap, give us a lot of human scent, and you stay away from the pretty green grass, we're going to let you ride with this program for a little bit. We want you to bring your friends and your cousins and your neighbors and everybody. They broke the contract. They got onto the pretty green grass, decided to do a little rooting, and I'm like, nah, I'm sorry, you're going to have to be removed. The key here, and no, all joking aside, the key is that once hogs find a food source, they're not going to erase it. The only way that you erase that from their memory is to erase them. And so way before we got on the property, they were on the pretty green grass. We went way down in the woods. We set up a trap, blah, blah, blah. Everything got going, good to news, right? They still didn't forget about the pretty green grass. And so part of a rapid response this morning is literally, we haven't dropped a gate yet. We're loaded, we're going there, and we're gonna sit on the property. It's about a 50-minute drive, and so when they come in, it's boom, drop the gate, go in with the thermal fast. After we get in there, assess the situation, make sure everything's clean on the outside. We're not too concerned about being too noisy. We want to be noisy. We don't want hogs to walk up to a drop gate. We know we got other hogs on our property, but we have not seen them in weeks. Due to the fact they broke the contract, they violated the conditions of the contract. We're giving you free corn, stay off that green grass. Nah, they broke the rules. So it's time to erase their memory, and the only way we can do that, like I said earlier, is to erase them. Slightly sleep deprived, but the last couple of days have been pretty good. Hotel room in it. Atlanta's not really my thing. In Georgia, you're either from North Georgia or South Georgia, because nobody wants to be from Atlanta. So, got some decent sleep. Kind of running on some fumes, but exciting about a first gate drop, potential first gate drop. So hang on, here we go. We're loaded up. We're actually taking the Tacoma, the Recon, one of the mini hogs, because we're actually changing a few things up on the trap itself, the design. We're adding an extra panel, and so we need all that. Zeb was hell-bent on going. I just got off the phone with him. He called me down here at the shop, and I'm like, I got it, bud. It's good. It's not a bunch of hogs, and just get some sleep. He's been out in the heat for the last 3 days straight. So with that being said, hang on, here we go. And cross your fingers that we actually do flip the switch on this new property. And really excited to break in that trap, break in the dirt, erase their memories, and reboot the system for these other hogs that clearly have moved to the other end of the property and have not worked their way back up to the trap. So here we go. Oh yeah, one thing real quick. A lot of dysfunction on our property. The hours we keep, thank God we don't have any neighbors. The chickens, they're out there jacking around in the run because they think it's daylight, which it's not. And so I'm gonna shoot a quick video of that. Hang on. So a lot of dysfunction on the property, 2:30 in the morning. Check out the chickens. The light comes on with motion, so we're out here loading trailers, foilers, corn, and poor damn chickens think it's daylight. All right, so we're here on property. This is not a big tract of land for us, but due to the circumstances of this new landowner and what he's wanting to do, and after sitting down and meeting with him and his family, we went ahead and took the job. So we can't go too deep into the property because I'm afraid we're gonna mess things up. Hogs are not in yet. I mean, this is like really risky, meaning you get up, you get loaded, you go in, and man, we're literally waiting. But we've done it before and it's worked, and we've done it before and it hadn't worked. But believe it or not, hogs are you can somewhat develop a pattern on them. They've been coming in between 4 and 4:30 for weeks now, but again, something could change 2 or 3 hours ago. A coyote screws them up, or who knows what, and then they just decide they're not coming in. So swing and you miss, man. Like Wyatt says, baseball is a game of failures, so hog trapping is a game of failures a lot of times. So we're going to take this time to get caught up on some paperwork, and we just sitting here. I'm literally looking at the Jaeger Pro app, and I think we got 24 systems out right now, 57 cameras or something like that. So we've had hogs in other systems tonight, but they're not ready to drop. So that being said, we just gonna sit back here and listen to some music, do some paperwork, and keep our fingers crossed they come in, because man, we are going to have a rapid response time, which is what we need for this particular group, to make sure no other hogs slip up on that system when it goes down. All right, hang on. All right, as you can see, it is starting to come a little bit of daylight. It's about 6 o'clock. Hogs haven't come in. It's sitting there for hours. Paperwork. Just trying to stay awake. No idea, man. I mean, there's an old saying: God makes plans, or we make plans, and God laughs. And hog trappers make plans, and hogs laugh. So they did come in for a while right after daylight. They did that for the first couple weeks. That was their routine. But here lately, for the last 2 weeks, it's been 4:30 every morning. So I don't know where they're at. So this is hog trapping. If they do come in, we probably will go ahead and take them, even if it is pushing daylight like it is right now, just simply because we can't have them getting on the pretty green grass. We came up with that saying probably 5 years ago when we were on an 18,000 acre project, and they used to feed deer and deer feeders on their pretty green grass. And this fella here, he really doesn't have pretty green grass, but anything that's not a crop field or a food plot or something like that, I mean, we just call it a pretty green grass. But Yeah, I mean, they're actually skirting pretty close to this fellow's house, so we're like, oh, we can't tolerate that. But the pretty green grass came from 5 years ago on that big job we were on, and they would get up in that irrigated lawn and just give it hell, man. And again, it ain't a man's livelihood, it's just what he likes, you know. But so we kind of like the farmer's livelihood approach. So I am getting sleep deprived at this point, but hang on. You know, if we're just sitting here watching the app, and if they come in, it's going to get down and dirty quick. So hang on. Well, as you can tell, it's daylight. It's about 8 a.m. now. Waited for 3 hours, no hogs. One of the big disadvantages to smaller tracts of land, this is about 200 acres. It's just hard. I mean, it's, you know, hogs are so migratory and they move around so much, and, you know, you're trying to lock them down and they don't want to be locked down. These hogs consistently have been coming in every morning at almost the same time. It's like, 5 o'clock, 6 o'clock, somewhere in there, and nothing. I mean, I have no clue. Brand new properties are very frustrating. You're trying to figure out the hogs, trying to figure out how they travel, issues. There's so many factors that we literally do not know. We've had multiple opportunities to drop on these hogs, 7 o'clock in the morning, and we are literally just trying to do it in the dark, and have a fast response time, so we're not educating any hogs that may be in the area, coming up to the drop gate. You feel a lot of hogs get educated that, so I am a little frustrated. I am, man. So we're buzzing up to the next county. We got maintenance up there to do, and reboot, man. It is what it is. So for you that are peeking behind the curtain at hog trapping, this is hog trapping. We get a lot of emails about people wanting to trap hogs, and how much to charge, and we can tell you that it's not a huge profit margin, and there's a lot of hours, a lot of work goes into it. It's not just all about the game drops. So that being said, we're gonna put on some more Neil Diamond and get back to what we do. So reboot and try again. All right, so we're gonna update you a little bit. The last video that you saw, it was about 6:30 in the morning. Sun was starting to come up. Hogs hadn't come in yet. They were normally coming in between 4 and 4:30. Around 7:30 in the morning, 6 piglets came in. So we were missing 1 piglet and 2 sows. One sow that looked to be a little on the sickly side, she was kind of hit or miss, but she had kind of gotten consistent. Never did come in the trap in the daytime. Always came in at that 4:30 time. So we got 6 piglets. We're missing a piglet. We're missing 2 sows. In our experience, when we start having problems like that, they've probably been shot. Okay, the first thing to go into an enclosure, and I'm literally sitting here at a trap, but it's not that trap that we were at. First thing to go in is piglets. Piglets are going to go in. If it's a tripwire system, this is why we are against all this tripwire technology, whatever it is. It ain't technology, it's old school. They're going to activate that system. It's going to drop, it's going to lock up, things are going to fall, whatever, it don't matter. And then you catch a bunch of piglets, and then the sow's standing out here going, yeah, that was a bad idea. And then she's done. And she will educate every young'un she has after that not to get near anything. So, it's why we have a lot of conversations about that. But we're missing a piglet and we're missing 2 adults. Generally, when we start missing adults out of a group that we're trying to trap, then that generally means most likely they've been shot. They got brazen, they went out on the edge of a field or something, cow pasture, whatever, somebody shot them. So that's what we figured. A couple days rock on, and it's 6 piglets, 6 piglets, 6 piglets, 6 piglets, and they went back to coming in at daylight, not 4:30 in the morning, which is pretty normal for younger hogs. They typically will stay away during the night hours. I guess they just bed down somewhere. And we had 6 piglets. So I had to go to my landowner and I said, hey, I think we got problems. I think that, you know, and of course he's kind of new to the game, and he's like, well, you know, I'm like, I'm just telling you my experience. You know, one of your neighbors probably shot them. It is what it is. People see a hog, they can't help but shoot them. And I get that. But when we're trying to do what we're doing and they know we're there, you know, and help a brother out. So we were kind of convinced that was the deal. And then I think about 3 or 4 days later, the healthy sow comes in, who was the original sow, and the 7 piglets. So that's where we're at now. We're going to clip together some pictures, kind of show you how this is all working out. Have no idea where they've been. We've never seen this before. We don't know. I mean, most sows aren't going to walk away, and we're running external cameras. We've got a camera down the creek. I mean, we've got a lot of cameras going, and we didn't see her on camera, and we didn't see that one little piglet on camera. And when I say piglet, I'm talking they're probably about that big. They're not little, tiny little booger eaters, but they're booger eaters. So you're up to speed now. Now, what do we do now, right? Well, now we're kind of waiting. We want to see what's going on. Where did our sickly looking sow go? She could have just died. The creek camera that's about 300 yards from the trap has picked up a pregnant sow and a boar. They've never been near the trap, but they're about 300 yards away. Something's going on. We just don't know what. Watch and wait. So there's your video bringing you up to speed, and at some point, we do end up flipping the switch, then we'll get back to our regularly scheduled program. And with that being said, it is the hottest time of the day in South Georgia, and that's why we're doing trap maintenance. It's probably at least 100 right now. I'm on my second shirt. Probably could change out pants too, but I'm not going to. And we've got 2 other systems to get to. So hang on, and we're gonna see what we can do. All right, well, you can tell already there's something wrong with this picture, because it's bright and sunny out. We are back on property. Sow and the piglets were MIA for a couple days. Started really looking over the pictures last night. We have a camera about 300 yards from the trap. It's in a creek. And we occasionally get some other hogs on that picture. When we get other hogs on the picture, figured it out this morning early. When we get other hogs on that camera, then our sow and piglets just disappear. So probably a social issue going on. So sow and piglets came in just a little bit ago, had to drop. Daytime drop, highly against it, inhumane in our opinion. You need to get there fast. It's 92 degrees. It's gonna be hard on them in there. But the reason we went ahead and did the drop is because we've got some land crap going on the adjoining property. We're fixing to do some thinning, tree thinning. Also some intel coming in at 200 acre lease, hunting lease. They're getting ready to start working on food plots and that kind of stuff. Too much crap going on. We might lose our opportunity to take these guys. And the thing that you've got to remember out there in TV land about hogs and deer are kind of the same way. They don't forget a food source. They literally lock onto it and go, hey, I remember this. So here's our opportunity to take 7 piglets and a sow. It's not perfect, but it is what it is. So that might be the end to this video finally. But this kind of shows you how it works. I mean, just that it is a long, drawn-out process. It's not simple and easy and just roll up, drop a gate, put hogs on the ground. So we're going to ease down through here. A couple things changed tactically. Weapon changes. It's still a 1022 platform. Daytime, it's a what we call it daytime 1022. Running an EOTech. We think that's the fastest target acquisition site you can have. And then instead of running a thermal, we'll go down in with a suppressed subsonic 44 mag bolt gun. It's a Ruger. We're not sponsored and endorsed by Ruger, but we do like Ruger's products. So we are easing down through some pines, as you can see, And then we're gonna put our rubber boots on and start slipping down through the woods. I can tell you that I really don't like doing this, but you got to do what you got to do. So I need to grab that call and we'll get back to you. All right, so we're here on property now. Jumped out of the truck. Sorry about that. Had to take a phone call. So same tactics really. Slip in, try to work around to the gate side. Gate's been clean, nothing outside the gate. Don't anticipate outside the gate. One of the problems with the way we trap, and it sounds like I'm bragging, but I don't think I am. Trap placement is huge in trapping success. You know, sticking it out in the middle of the field, 10, 11 o'clock, 12 o'clock, odds of a hog just wandering out there pretty slim. But the way we bury our traps, we do get frequent visitors from hogs during the daytime. We typically don't flip the switch. So it's like real estate, location, location. You don't want the trap in their bedroom. We don't want it out there in this great big field, which has been a food source for these hogs. We want it somewhere in the middle. So that's where we're at. But the problem is they will frequent it during the daytime, and you have to resist the urge to drop in the daytime. But in this situation, they were coming in around 4:30 for a while. Then they started coming around right before daylight, never in the evenings. And I think these other hogs have disrupted their patterns due to social issues. You've got to understand the extreme amount of social issues that hogs have. They just cannot get along. I doubt many of our biologists who are experts in the field have actually talked to farmers who've raised hogs. And farmers that have raised hogs, I tell you, man, they don't get along. And that's why they would have them in great big open areas, because they're always fighting about something. And then you want to shove them in a little bitty thing and think they're going to get along. And so even in the woods, there's social issues. They kind of set up their areas like, hey, that's your turf, this is our turf. We have a pretty decent sized boar we had on camera last night, 300 yards below the trap. And we think that's what disrupted the last couple of days. He's been up here probably aggravating his sow. And she's like, no, I'm not interested. I got these 7 piglets. So we're going to ease down through there, do our thing, and then a little bit of footage, not much, because I just don't like it. I just want to put them down. It's hot out here, and we need to get them down and move on. So hang on. All right, we're probably about 100 yards from the trap. Easing down this little road here. There's a stump here, which is what we call a fat lighter stump. So it's kind of like a pine tar of an old pine tree. Hogs have been rubbing on this thing for years. A lot of times landowners don't realize they have hogs because hogs are slick. They stay out of sight. Some of them get brave. This sow and piglets got brave. But they'll rub on this. And this is a pretty good sign that this ain't the first time this property's had hogs on it. You know, they like rubbing on that. I don't know, the theory is it keeps bugs off of them, or maybe it's just a damn hog they like to rub. And I'm gonna show it to you real quick. All right, so back to your regular scheduled program. We headed that way. All right, so straight down that way is the trap. We're gonna sneak around this way to try to get over to the gate side. Hang on. All right, trap is right there. I got a piglet up on his feet. We always try to put him in the shade, the traps. Just in case it goes this way, at least they've got some shade till we get here. That's what they need. Hogs can't take a lot of heat. So I went ahead and put the 44 down. Strictly 22 now. It's a 4-leg on-time feeder. That wind's hitting me right in the back, so we're kind of screwed on scent. It is the 12 panel Yak Pro. It has the older gate, but we're getting ready to upgrade the gate today to the newer gate. We're going to see if we can get the live video to work here. Pretty bad cell service there. Now we could drive right up to the trap, but we ain't doing that. We've got at least one tree in the trap, pine tree, to the left of that feeder. When you're doing this, you need to scan your other surroundings. So I look where my feet are going, then I scan my surroundings. Try to miss all the big crunchy sticks. Ice camera on the outside. It's been cleaned since we dropped. So try to use these trees. Sal's looking right at me. I think she see me. I'm using these trees, block them. All right, we got a wind shift, which is good, coming right at us. Uh-oh. Sticking her nose up. I don't know if you can see her. She might have me. I'm gonna try to, oh yeah, we're busted. We are so busted. We're busted. Still don't know. The vocalization starts off with just that little bit of, not really a grunt, kind of like a little snort. There it goes. Keep working the trees. All right, coming on around. There she goes. There's our sow and 7 piglets. Easy, fellas. Hey, fellas. All right, so you kind of get the idea. If I'd have drove right up, it'd have been really ugly, but they're gonna follow her. So let's get to it and we'll get back to you. All right, so they went down pretty quick. Typically in a situation like that, you're gonna wanna go for that sow first. And then one of the piglets just kind of took over. Once she went down, that piglet took over and like, okay, now I'm in charge. It's kind of crazy to watch the minds of what they got going on. A little bit of footage, I'll kind of show you what we got. But we're gonna change a few things on the trap. This, like I said, if you've been watching the full length video, my apologies, it's kind of long, but it was a long ass process to get to this point. We're actually changing the gate out. We're going with the newer Jagger Pro gate. We're actually boosting a live video. We're gonna try live video with a directional booster antenna. So we're gonna be here for a little bit. We're gonna send it up real bad. It's not too bad in here. I mean, it's probably 95. Humidity's not that bad today. And we got a little bit of shade and a little bit of breeze. And then we're gonna kind of get her done. So hang on. So right here, we've got a up and coming little sow. That's our sow there. She's not a big girl at all, but she definitely pushed out 7 babies. Another up and coming sow. Young boar, up and coming sow. Young boar. Young boar. And then over here, another little boar. All right. So we hope that you enjoyed the video. I think this is going to be the first time that we've done it from start to finish. We're not finished here, we're just getting established, but you know, from boom, put up a trap, get hogs coming to it. The sickly sow, what we call the sickly sow, she has been MIA for a week and a half. She may have died, we don't know what happened to her. So we ended up with this. Now, you know, as we say with all the videos, you know, you look at this young sow, she's not real big, but she pushed out 7 babies. We think realistically, depending on the food source, you're looking at most of these sows are going to push 5 to 7 out of litter 3 times a year. The experts will tell you 12. We've never seen 12. We've seen 10 out of some really big sows, meaning 10 babies. Not saying it's not possible, but they need a really good nutritional diet, just like human beings, prenatal vitamins, eat all the above to really push out a lot of babies. Really healthy looking hogs. There's hardwoods on this property, so we got acorns or acorns, however you want to pronounce it. There's deer hunting, but it's kind of a semi-residential property. For us, it's residential. We've got residential structures, 1,000 yards, 1,000 yards, whatever, and that's a little unusual for us. Took the property on, like the property owner, like the way that he thinks. It is going to be a challenging property to trap. It really is. Just because there's so many factors that we can't control. And what are the factors we can't control? The neighbors. If you're on a larger tract of land, we're not going to have a lot of problems, but there's such a migratory creature, they might wander over there to that fella's 10-acre tract, and he's like, well, I just don't like hogs in my little horse pasture, and he's going to shoot them. And we can go over there and ask him not to shoot them, and he's not going to listen to us. So the idea is to provide a controlled, monitored food source and give them some comfort. And so when they get harassed in the surrounding areas, they'll come in here and go, hey, this is kind of a haven for me. I feel safe here, and go ahead and take them out. They definitely were hemmed up in here. You'll see a video, probably earlier video of that sow literally right there. Zeb was on the tractor, and we're coming in here with equipment. This is a little clearing that we kind of picked out, but it's not really where I want the trap. But it's where it's got to kind of be for right now. But I'm kind of confident we're going to move it down that way more. And in the trapping world, in our opinion, 100 yards makes all the difference in the world. It's about their comfort, not our comfort. We didn't pick the location because we can actually drive to it. We picked the location due to the amount of hog damage we saw. And further down that way, it gets wet, but when we start running out of property. And so we're just trying to find a happy medium. So, all that being said, I hope you all enjoyed the video. Give us feedback. We'd really like to know if it was kind of cool to watch it from start to finish, like how it all works. The frustration, delivering, corn on a tractor because they're used to that tractor, showing up and nothing happening, I don't know if that interests people, but that's the reality of hog trapping. Not just boom, the gate goes down and you're taking hogs out. So anyway, y'all have a great day. We got a lot of work to do, and I got to teach karate tonight, so I need to put a wiggle in it. But let us know. Thank you.